Mandy Young is a medical marvel. As a young woman in her early 30s, her bright smile and sparkling eyes certainly do not offer any evidence of her past health traumas. In fact, her missing left leg is likely the only visible proof of some of the unspeakable difficulties she and her family endured for much of her childhood.
You're always going to have issues. I've always heard that you're either in a storm, you just got out of a storm, or you're about to face a storm. And any of those that you're going through, I just want people to remember that, like, God's got it in control.
Born a healthy baby girl in 1981, it wasn't long before her parents' worst nightmares became a reality. Her immune system did not detect illness, and she was near death countless times before anyone knew it. At almost 9 years old, a severe infection of gas gangrene resulted in the amputation of her left leg, a procedure that doctors felt would increase her odds of living by just 3%. But she pulled through, and she recounted her story to students and community members at Gardner-Webb University's Weekly Dimensions program. She said throughout everything she and her family have endured, their faith and trust in God has not diminished, but instead has increased.
We can all plan out our lives the way that we want to, but 95% of the time, it's not going to happen that way. And that's okay. It doesn't have to go that way because He has something bigger and better for you.
After years of life-threatening illnesses, followed by even more questions left unanswered, doctors at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland, agreed to begin studying Mandy's case. In 2003, researchers finally discovered why her body doesn't recognize when it's sick. The unanswered questions had finally been answered. Now Mandy serves as a spokesperson for unknown diseases at the National Institutes of Health, and she uses her platform to point people toward God.
He's the reason that I have joy, that I have peace, that I have understanding, that I have any of those things that I have that people might look up to me for is only because of Him, and then they'll want the same thing and look to Him for all those answers that they can also have.
She visits the National Institutes of Health for health checkups and blood work each year, and she must take significant precautions to ensure continued good health. But doctors believe the worst of her medical problems are likely behind her. She now travels the country telling her story and reinforcing God's goodness, even when things don't look or feel very good.
Having a positive attitude is everything. So if you go into something with a negative attitude, the outcome is probably going to be negative. But if you go into something with a positive attitude, and even if the outcome is still negative, it's somehow easier to handle. I like the saying, it'll all be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. You just have to keep moving forward.